Guys, we got the heavy hitter rotations does not stop. We got my man Mark Jones. He's a former CEO of Sun Pro Solar. Very humble guy. Great story. He started the company, man, 15 years ago. They had a big exit. One of the biggest exits in the history of solar to ADT Home Security. It's really an honor to have you on here, man. Someone of your caliber on it, man.
Yeah, thanks. You were a big part of that, man. All your good leads really helped us out. You know?
I appreciate that. And listen, at the end of the day, rising tide lifts all boats. And when you do the right thing by your clients, they'll do the right thing by you. And that's how Solar Direct grew to become one of the top solar lead generators in the world, because we had customers like Mark that grew, and we did the right thing by you. So we talk about that partnerships and how that helped you grow and help you in business.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So, I don't know exactly when we started with you guys.
2018, 2017.
2017
Yeah.
sounds about right. But, what a lot of people don't understand is like, the lead industry gets a bad rap.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot of bad players out there. But, for us, I mean, for any company, that's a lifeblood of your business, right? If you don't, where does it all start? It starts at lead gen, right? And without that, nothing else happens. There's no sales, there's no installs, no revenue. And so, for us, we were always on the lookout for like really good lead providers, lead vendors. And so like, you were one of those guys that really kind of propelled us forward, because without that, like, you can have all the aspirations in the world to grow. If you can't transact on, or find people that help you transact on these customers that are interested in moving forward solar, you can't do it. So it's a huge part of the business. It was very important for us. And, I attribute a lot of our success with your company and companies like yours that are doing it right, that are giving us high quality leads. And, it made a big difference for us.
Yeah, and I can imagine as a company like you, that you guys scaled from, I don't know, maybe tens of millions to hundreds of millions in revenue and business. You probably had a lot of shady characters, right? People trying to like pull the wool over your eyes, man. And how do you prepare for that? How do you react to that?
Well, unfortunately, most of us learn through the school of hard knocks,
Yeah.
where you get burned enough times. I used to tell lead, there's so many guys that do leads, like constantly getting called. And, I would tell these guys, like, look, I'm not going to pay you to find out if you suck. And that was a good way, like, when we worked with you guys, you guys were willing, like, you proved it, right? I mean, you came in and we were wary of you when you shared everything. I don't know, but, and so you just have to be careful, because a lot of these guys will come in and they want, hey, I need a $30,000 upfront commitment to do this. And like, guys that operate like that's your first sign that they're not a legitimate player. Because a good operator is going to know that, hey, I'm going to give these guys quality stuff. They're going to want to buy more. They will buy more, and it doesn't. And so they're not going to ask for these crazy, insane kind of upfront contracts. I mean, that was always a big red flag for me.
Yeah. And the good thing with SunPro, they always gave good feedback, let us know how we were doing. And listen, we weren't perfect. There's times where we gave you stuff that shit the bed, right? But we did the right thing by you. We gave you extras. We did what we had to do. And I think that helped us prove ourselves to you. And I remember one story, Ren Rogers, he said one time you guys had we saw you leads in Oklahoma, they're terrible. I'm like, listen, we're not going to charge you for those leads. And he said they went all the way to you. And he's a CEO. You guys had thousands of employees. That meant a lot to me that you acknowledged that.
Yeah. Well, look, it's like the most successful lead vendor relationships are when both sides approach it as like a true partnership, right?
Yeah.
Where there's honest, real feedback going both directions. Because like you have a thesis in a particular market, right? And you're gonna produce leads a certain way, right? And you have all kinds of ways you can do it. Well, sometimes like whatever channel you're generating these leads from, maybe it's not working, right?
Yep.
And so, hey, like you just said, you acknowledge, like, hey, these aren't working, we're going to redo it. But, a lot of people approach the lead vendor relationship as very, what's the right word? They approach that relationship as like very standoffish. Like, hey, I don't trust you. I'm assuming you're going to screw me. And so there's not a lot of feedback that happens. But, we found our most successful relationships is when people, work together. And we approach it like, hey, we're in partnership together. And it was highly successful way to do it.
Absolutely. And one thing I want to talk about, I think that I went to Tony Robbins in 2019 Business Mastery, and we're putting out some numbers and nothing crazy. And he talks about you have to, when you create a business, you have to think about when you're going to exit the company. And I think a lot of people, especially in my industry, they don't even think about that. I didn't think about that. And then I had a chance last year to exit. I came very close. You actually exited your company. You had multiple chances to exit, but things didn't work out, and you finally did it. So what would be your advice to somebody looking to exit about timings. I think timing's important as well, right? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you can't plan on timing, right? You can, and oftentimes when you sell your business, like a lot of stars have to align, a lot of things have to come together. And where I've seen a lot of people make this mistake is they assume that, today is going to last forever. Like, oh, we're just going to keep growing forever. We're going to keep making more money. And like things change. You can't predict when it's going to change. And that, I always felt like there's a time that you got to be willing to hit the button. And, I don't know when that is. It's different for everybody. But there's a lot of stories of guys that pass on the opportunity and you look at them a few years later and their business is doing way worse, not necessarily way better. And so it's not always the case, but, I'm a big proponent. For me, I always thought of success as like security, right? So like if I could achieve some level of financial security, like that's success for me. And so, when that opportunity presented itself, it was like, hey, if you do this, you will have achieved financial success. For me, that was the thing for me that I valued the most. And so that's when I knew it was doing. I mean, everybody has their own definition of like what they're trying to achieve, but for me, it's like, man, if you can build a business and then build that to a point that you can like, effectively walk away and your family's going to be okay. I mean, that's pretty successful. And I would encourage people, that's when you hit the button and you can do that.
Some phenomenal advice. Again, I mean, you're talking to someone that's done it, and you got your battle scars too. It wasn't easy, I imagine, right? I mean, a lot of ups and downs. We talked about COVID before and how that affected your business, but you guys, you got through all of it, right? So, what's next for you, man? I mean, you exit your company. Like, what excites you? What are you looking forward to in your next chapter?
Yeah. Well, I committed to taking a year off. It's been about a year now, and this is actually like my first foray back into like solar. And I really love the solar industry. I think there's like tremendous opportunity. I was just talking today, like, if I was in solar right now, like people are nervous. Like I would be so excited right now because there's so much opportunity. Like there's all this disruption, people are going out of business, people don't know what to do. Like that's when opportunities that you can find the most opportunities in those moments. And so I'm really excited about the industry, and I'm not really sure what I'm going to do, but I think you'll see me again somewhere.
I'm sure. Well, Mark, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being such a great partner with us. And, we grew your growth, we grew with you. And that's really what business is about, doing the right things, And listen, it wasn't always perfect, but we worked through the circumstances and we both grew together. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, man. And I can't wait to see what's next for you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thanks for being on the show. It really means a lot to me, man. Thank you.
Take care.